What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm also going to break down some new news that's coming out involving Tesla and Elon Musk. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, we're still very choppy right now. We have this support down here around this 317 area. We were expecting the 317s to be tested. I said to watch to see if we bounce. So far, we dipped to about 317.8, so it did basically touch our target, but it hasn't really gotten a nice breakout to the upside yet. We're still technically range bound between 317 and 325. Those are some key levels. Now, I'd like to see us reclaim 330 to turn more bullish, and to be bearish, you want to see us fill at 317 and eventually start dipping for 309. There's a risk of a head and shoulders on Tesla. It's still kind of weak right now, but we haven't really lost any key support or broken any key resistance yet. We're still technically in the middle. And until we get some kind of break, we're just choppy for now in the market. So please be very, very patient with Tesla. This is very temporary because once Tesla has their deliveries, I do expect a very, very big move, and it may take another day or two until we see a lot more volatility. Now, I first want to talk about Elon Musk, what he's been saying, because it's been a while since I did that. Then I'll break down what's happening with Tesla stock. So, when it comes to Elon Musk did once again thank us for the very kind birthday wishes. I actually forgot about this. It was his birthday on June 28th, so I just wanted to wish him a happy belated birthday. Once again, he's done a fantastic job at leading Tesla and helping to innovate the world. So just want to give him some credits alongside the entire Tesla team. On top of this, Musk was talking about this about how, when you look at what's happening right now, Tesla's new battery factory could help supercharge the US energy as they're finishing their construction on the new LFP battery cell factory in Nevada. So that's some very, very big news for them. Once again, as they're trying to produce more battery cells, that's going to be essential for Tesla's growth and for many other obstacles that the world is trying to face. Musk is saying this is going to be very vital for America. This is once again their first LFP cell manufacturing factory in North America entirely. And that's some very, very big news because it's going to be very, very massive. And they're going to be using this for all sorts of developments. So Musk has been talking about how vital this is going to be. He broke down how the grid scale battery packs allow greater use of existing power plants by storing energy during low demand times and releasing more when demand is high. So I think that's actually very efficient because it allows them to use energy a lot differently. And they're going to once again store it when we don't use as much, and then they could also release it when we need a lot more of it. That way, you could have less outages, and then we could actually handle things a lot more effectively. So that's what Musk has been talking about. One of the essentials of that, and also how it has like a lot of latent benefits. So that's some good news that's also been coming out. Musk was also talking about the autonomous delivery of the Tesla Model Y a couple of days ago. So he was talking about how Tesla has the first fully autonomous delivery of the Tesla Model Y from a factory to the customer's home across town, which included highways. Just completed a day ahead of schedule. So that's good news for them. He said that there were no people in the car at all and no remote operators in control at any point. It was fully autonomous. Fully autonomous. He made that very, very clear, right? He's putting that in enunciating the fully. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first fully autonomous drive with no people in the car or remotely operating the car on a public highway. That is what he's saying, at least so far. I am seeing some mainstream headlines that are kind of like criticizing him because, there's other countries like Waymo that also have their own versions of these self-driving vehicles in other places. There are mainstream articles using that to criticize Tesla, but honestly, guys, I just hate all these comparisons. We don't have to compare Tesla to Waymo and all these companies. For now, let's focus on what Tesla's doing for itself and the growth that's going to come. Tesla deserves credit where it's due because this is very historic, right? You have the cars driving themselves to people's houses now, which is very awesome. They recorded the whole thing. It's actually on X. There's actually a video of this basically leaving the Gigafactory in Texas and basically going to the person's home for 30 minutes. And you could see the footage of how like efficient it is, right? Crossing parking lots, going through highways, doing all kinds of very, very awesome things. So it's very, very great. And I think Tesla deserves credits. FSD is continuing to improve, and this is going to completely, change the world in ways no one would really imagine. So my point is just to put it out there that, we have to give Tesla credit. I know mainstream media is attacking them and kind of criticizing Elon for this. They're criticizing Tesla because, first off, their arguments that I'm seeing is that Other companies like Waymo are already doing this, but of course, Waymo is not perfect. They haven't really scaled to the extent that Tesla will. And I think that Tesla has so much growth, it's going to be very, very fast. It's like a domino effect. You move one domino, and eventually millions could fall. And that's how effective this is going to be. And people don't really realize that. Now, one more thing about Elon. So, with President Trump's big, beautiful bill, at least that's what he calls it, Elon has said that it's going to be very destructive for America. It's actually very bad for the Republican Party. So I just want to say that Musk has said that he's in opposition of the big, beautiful bill. He thinks that it's going to be adding to our debt. It's going to be doing the exact opposite of what many intended purposes tend to be. So he's been once again preaching against it, whereas we have like other people saying the opposite. I just wanted to put that out there because, the big, beautiful bill is very important. It is affecting the market to a large extent. And if it does truly pass by July 4th, we will be expecting another leg up in the markets. For now, it is Monday. Keep in mind, we just have a couple of bill auctions at 11:30 a.m., and that's pretty much it. So as far as Tesla's going, honestly, guys, there's not really much for me to say. We're just range bound right here. If we end up losing 317, I could see Tesla dump a lot more, so be careful. But if we get back above 328, we're going to be looking for like 333 or above. As of right now, we're kind of going back and forth like this. And we're just going to have to see how it goes if we break up or down. We're kind of stuck right here. So we're just in the middle. So give this some time. So if we break 328, it's more bullish. If we end up losing 317, we're bearish. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck right now. So I do think Tesla's going to chop around for some time. But like I said before, we're going to be waiting for deliveries. When that finally comes, I do expect a much larger move. So keep that in mind. As far as spies going, we're showing a little bit of, I would say, less strength than before. I wouldn't necessarily call this a week. It's just a tiny dip that's coming. We've almost filled this gap. Maybe we do come down to fill the gap. We're actually very close to doing so, like about a point away. But even if we do come down a bit, I still think we could try to run higher for like the 620s. It's still possible we get another leg up once we get the big, beautiful bill. But if we end up losing 610, we could turn back down. Another factor that could be affecting things would be trade deals, involving Canada and India. So that could also cause a lot of volatility. So for now, we're going to be watching to see if we get a bounce. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. So, if we end up failing at 548, we're looking for a move back down. That could actually drag us a lot lower. And if you want to be bullish, you want to see us basically get back above 552 to start pushing higher. I'm hoping that we consolidate and eventually try to break out, but it's possible the QQQ dips a little bit more. It depends on how well 550 holds. If not, we have that gap filled before a potential bounce, and we'll see how it goes from there. For the IWM, as of right now, we are looking bullish. We're technically on an uptrend. Could be coming down to fill that gap. So we're going to be watching to see how well 214 holds. We need to lose 214 to turn lower. As long as we hold above the 214s, we could be looking for a bounce to go higher. On ES, we're bullish. We're technically making higher highs and higher lows. We're going to see if 6225 holds. As long as 6200 does not break, this could be a temporary dip like I was talking about earlier before we try to bounce again. We're still technically bullish unless we lose 6200. On NQ, I don't want to see us lose 22,666. It is possible we dip a little bit, but then we're going to be looking for a bounce as well on this. It's still technically bullish as long as 22,666 does not break. So could we test 22,750 to 22,800? Yes, we can. But then we're going to be looking for a bounce, most likely. Even Bitcoin's dipping a bit, but we have this support around 106,600 we need to hold. Even if we do dip here, we could be looking for some kind of rebound move. For Nvda, it's dipped a little bit. It's actually range bound. As long as you don't lose 155 to be bearish, we're going to be fine. If we break 158, we're bullish. Otherwise, we're kind of range bound between those levels. I do think we consolidate, but then later we could be looking for a bigger move for the 160s. So if we consolidate for now, there could be more upside. Apple's range bound. If we end up losing basically 198, we're looking for a dump. If we end up breaking past 202, we're looking for a push. Could dip a little bit before we see some more upside. So keep that in mind. We're going to see if 198 holds. On AMD, we're technically looking a little bit weaker here. We could be dipping to about 140. We're going to see if we bounce. If 140 fails us, we dump to 136. But if this holds, we're looking for a rebound. So I do think AMD might dip a little bit. Coin is barely holding 350. It might be testing 345. We're going to see if it bounces off that. If not, there's a head and shoulders. So if 345 fails, expect a big dump on coin. If that holds, we could be looking for a bounce. On Amazon, might dip a little bit. Like I said, I was expecting this to be tested around 220. So 220 might be tested, and we'll see if it bounces. If not, we're looking for 218. Meta, we're dipping a little bit. It might be coming down. There's this gap over here, so I'm going to see how well we could hold 735. If not, we could be coming down lower to fill that gap around 732. Then we'll see if we bounce off that or not. So there could be a small dip before we bounce. On Google, we might be dipping as well towards like 174, and we'll see if buyers defend. And Microsoft needs to hold around this 495 area, or else we can dip more. As long as we don't lose 492, we could still bounce. So, the VIX kind of like gapped up and now it's like pushing. But watch and see if the VIX rejects. It could still get another rejection move. We still have a gap down here to fill. And then that could be in unison with the market potentially bouncing. So Tesla, it dipped. It tried to rebound, but now it's kind of stuck in the middle. No big break in either direction. We're still range bound for now. So I'm going to have to keep my analysis the same until we get a break. And it may not happen until we get deliveries. So keep that in mind. Anyways, thank you for listening, guys. Have a good rest of your guys' days, and peace out.